Mykola and his pregnant wife, Nastia, live in a tranquil area of Ukraine called Danvers. They are known as the first eco-settlers in the area. Nastia is an artist who likes to draw and carve wood. She gives Mykola a wooden angel as a protection charm. Mykola is a mathematician, physicist, and ecologist who teaches at the local school. During class, a student named Ivan bothers Mykola. Ivan thinks his teacher is strange and weird, so he wants him kicked out of school. Mykola never gets mad at Ivan, though, because he thinks pacifism is helping to shape the minds of young people, because they don't have any electronics at home. The couple doesn't know about the news until Mykola goes to work and watches a few minutes of TV on his break. That's how he finds out that protesters were killed in the capital city of Ukraine and that Russia might invade the country. On his way to work one morning, Mykola sees some soldiers standing on the side of the road, but he doesn't pay them any attention. When he finally gets to school, he is surprised to find it empty, and the TV tells him right away why. Russia has invaded Ukraine. Mykola worries about his wife when he thinks about the soldiers he saw earlier. He runs back to his house, but it's too late. The Russians are already there beating Nastia up, and when Mykola tries to help her, they catch him too. After the soldiers ensure they are not spies, they start a fire inside the house and leave. However, when Nastia tries to fight back by throwing a stone at them, they do not hesitate to shoot her before finally leaving. Mykola clings to his dead wife's body as he watches his house burn down. A few hours later, two members of the Ukrainian militia find Mykola. They check his ID to ensure he is a civilian and help him dig a grave for Nastia. Mykola makes sure to take the wood angel with him as a last memory of his wife before they leave. The people in charge at the base are unhappy when a stranger shows up out of the blue because he could be a spy. However, Mykola quickly proves he is not a spy by saying he wants to join the army and get the Russians out of his country. Mykola is then sent to a heavy training course where he has to learn to exhaust his body and use guns, two things he has never done before because he is a pacifist. He has a hard time taking weapons apart and putting them back together, which makes his superiors laugh at him, especially when he tells them his codename is Raven. Mykola doesn't let them put him down. Instead, he trains harder than usual, staying up late to practice his weapons and keeping the wood angel close, so he doesn't forget his goal, to get revenge for his wife. A few weeks later, the trainees discover that there aren't enough snipers at the front and that the army is looking for volunteers. Not many people want to do it, but Mykola jumps right in, only to be laughed at again. Mykola still didn't want to give up, so he took a challenge to prove himself. He took apart and put back together an AK-47 while blindfolded in less than 20 seconds, earning everyone's respect. He also got the name Raven, which he had asked for. Mykola is good at the theoretical parts of sniper training because he knows a lot about math and physics and can do calculations faster than the teachers. He is also very good at following the number one rule, staying quiet, even when an instructor shoots at the ground near him. Unfortunately, he does not do well in the actual shooting because, for some reason, they have given him a different weapon from everybody else, the kind of firearm that is not apt for war sniping. Whenever Mykola points this out, he is told to deal with it. Once again, Mykola refuses to give up and plans to prove what he can do. The last sniper test occurs at night, and the trainees have to shoot as soon as an instructor's flare gives them enough light around their targets. But Mykola doesn't shoot yet. He uses the light to figure out how far away he is, and when the exam is over, he shoots in the dark and hits the center of the target, which no one else can do. This lets Mykola graduate with the best grade and get placed in a first-class unit. For Mykola's first mission, he and the other snipers must free an important checkpoint that the Russians have taken over. The team is able to get into the area without being seen, and each sniper is given a target. However, just as they are about to shoot, a civilian car drives up to the checkpoint, stopping their plan. They make them come out and hand over their passports. They won't give the passports back. The man makes a scene. This makes the Russian soldiers react violently. When Mykola's team sees this, they immediately attack and kill every soldier with quick, accurate shots. This includes the guy who tried to take the civilian woman hostage. For the next mission, Mykola's team puts a bunch of explosives on trees and covers them with leaves. Then, they hide in the grass and wait for their enemy to arrive. When the Russian soldiers appear in the forest as expected, Mykola hesitates to shoot because he sees something he can't believe. Ivan has joined the Russian army and is coming this way with the rest of their enemies. When the captain tells him to shoot, he snaps out of it. When Mykola hits the detonator, he kills every Russian soldier, including Ivan. A few days later, the Ukrainian forces were able to get the trenches near the border under control. Hence, the sniper team gets in a position to wait for the Russian forces that are getting ready to invade this region. Mykola gets ready to do his job, always keeping the angel with him. However, he loses his usual calm when he sees the man who killed his wife. Mykola is so angry that he keeps asking the captain for permission to shoot. But the captain always says no because the enemy is not in the right place yet. Mykola gets tired of waiting and shoots anyway, hitting the soldier but also letting a hidden enemy sniper know where they are. The sniper kills the captain right away in retaliation. As the Russians start shooting at them, Mykola has to drag the captain's body across the field while dodging every bullet and bomb. When Mykola returns to the base hours later, his boss tells him an investigation will be done to find the sniper who killed the captain. When they do, Mykola will be called to take care of him. On the other hand, Mykola feels so bad about what he did that he decides to do a lot of solo missions to make up for it. His sniper skills are still on point, and he kills many Russian soldiers. However, since no one keeps him in check, he takes too many risks and gets shot in the arm. Mykola goes to a secret hideout to rest. During his break, he gets a call that he can't miss. The army discovered where the sniper who killed the captain hid, so Mykola must return. Before the mission starts, all the information found so far is given to the soldiers. The enemy sniper is Sari, who has already killed 5 Ukrainian snipers and 3 machine gunners. Even worse, he records all his kills and posts videos of them online to make them feel bad about themselves. He even had the nerve to post a video of their captain's death. At least all these deaths have helped them figure out where Sari is, since they can't put mines there because the enemy is hiding in a chemical plant that stores chlorine. They have devised a different plan. Their snipers will kill the lower soldiers so Mykola can sneak in and kill Sari face to face. When the mission starts, the Ukrainian snipers move into place and wait for Mykola to crawl through the field and into the building. The first soldier he finds is the other man who attacked his home. He still remembers Mykola, who told him he should have killed him the first time. After killing him with one quick and satisfying shot, Mykola gives his teammates the go-ahead to attack. This causes all Ukrainian snipers to fire simultaneously, sweeping the area without setting off any alarms. Sari is one of the last 2 Russian snipers left. They don't realize anything is wrong until they stop getting messages on the radio and go check on their fellow soldiers, only to find that they are all dead. Mykola sneaks deeper into the building while Sari calls for help and sends the other soldier to keep watch. When Sari returns to his spot, he is surprised to see a small wooden angel. At that moment, Mykola jumps on Sari, stabbing him to death with a knife, while the other Russian soldier is killed by a grenade. Then the reinforcements Sari called for showed up, so Mykola used Sari's radio to tell the new soldiers they would pay for what they did. As soon as the Russian truck stops, the Ukrainian soldiers start shooting at it, and all the targets are gone in seconds. Now that Mykola has gotten revenge for the deaths of his wife and his captain, he decides to take a break and go back home to visit Nastia's grave and fix the broken cross. Even though he misses his home a lot, he can't return because his country needs him to do more work. Soon, he will be on another mission by himself, ready to kill as many Russian soldiers as needed.